Welcome to the special Brownlow medal edition of the BPL Vidcast podcast. Wayne Carey, someone who went into the count as pre-medal favourite probably 3 or 4 times in the 90s. Yep. Is it a night you used to enjoy going to?
Not really, to be honest. It is a bit of a boring night, and look, like guys like Swanee, obviously he's the favourite.
Dane Swan.
It's very hard to go in there and not have a few nerves when you're favourite and everyone's saying you do start to think, I might actually win. So, he'd certainly be having those sorts, and he deserves to be favourite. He's had a great year, but as a bit of a smoky, I don't mind Goddard.
Brendan Goddard from St Kilda.
I think he's had a great year. He carries the ball. He takes a lot of marks. I think he might be right up there.
Dane Swan's not only favourite, he's hot favourite at $2, which is an incredibly short price. Is he the sort of bloke who umpires would be inclined to give votes to? Because they do have their favourites.
Well, last year he didn't poll all that well. I think he was one of the favourites last year. He didn't poll well at all, but I think it was a couple of years ago he did. But with the extra ink on the arms, you'd expect maybe he stands out a little bit more. But look, he has just got the ball that often, and he runs with it, he carries it. You really can't see him being beaten. I mean, he's just had that good a year, and he had the ball that often that it'll be really interesting. And if he doesn't in some of the games where he's had 40 possessions, and whether he gets 3 votes or the 2 votes, it's going to be an interesting count from that point of view. But it is a boring night, Charlie.
Especially after you've had Mad Monday celebrations, I suppose. It'll be the last thing you'd feel like doing.
Well, the fact we played in 7 preliminaries like in a row, 3 of those grand finals, so therefore there was 4 times that it happened to fall on the Monday. So at times it was difficult to get there, but look, it's become a lot about the girls dressing up, and it is a real event. And look, it is someone will be very happy come Tuesday.
But you would have been preparing a speech in your mind, wouldn't you? Those nights that you were favourite?
No, Charlie. Never thought or never worried about it. I think if you happen to win it, you wing it.
Is it a slightly flawed award in that the midfielder wins it every year?
Well, it's definitely become a midfield award, and there's no doubt about that. I think you look at Chris Grant polled the most votes one year. I think he played at centre half back that year. Tony Lockett was the last sort of big forward. Generally, your Nick Rewalt's, your buddies and those guys, they always get around that 18 votes, but obviously never enough to win it. But and I think it'll be the same this year. I think it'll be dominated by the on-ballers,
by the midfielders. Obviously, there are times when key defenders, Prestige Giacomo is one that comes to mind from Collingwood, totally unheralded. Rarely gets a vote, but if you're Mick Malthouse or one of the coaches, they do as an important job for their team as any midfielder, don't they?
Yeah, that's right. But that's probably the flaw in the system, because umpires, they see the guy get the ball. They're not watching a guy do a specific job. Like Scarlett and those guys have done some great jobs on some of the best forwards, and I'm sure they've never got votes. So that is the flaw in the system, no doubt.
It is a great night though, and for what it's worth, I like Scott Pendlebury at $11 at Tab Sportsbet. I reckon he's kind of a poor man's Dane Swan. Doesn't have any ink on his arms at all. Andrew Swallow at $250. I reckon is a great bet for a top 10 or top 5. Not that we encourage betting here. Who do you like?
Yeah, look, I don't think you can go past Dane Swan. I honestly think he'll win it purely on numbers. He's just been brilliant all year. But as a smoky, as I said before, I think Goddard at about $11 is he? $13. So he's had a great year. Hodge, he'll be up there as well. But I just can't go past Dane Swan. I know he's favourite, but he's just been that good.
Finally, Ashley Brown, the editor of Backpage Lead, also likes Dane Swan, with as a roughie Adam Goods, a proven polar. Wayne Carey, thanks again. You're not going along on Monday night to don the tuxedo?
No, you won't see me there, but I'll be watching.
Fantastic. Thanks again.
Thanks, Charlie.